This is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. I'll talk about myself in a minute, but the first thing I want to do is thank Dawn from Sensible Living with Money Mom. Hi, Money Mom. Hi, Dawn, for this wonderful opportunity to have a collab. And we're going to get right to it in a minute. But the first thing I want to mention is my biggest mistake, my biggest mess up that happened during quarantine. And then after that, we'll talk about mistakes commonly made by just about anyone during quarantine. And I'll be right back. Before I get into it, I want to talk to you a minute about myself. I am a former elementary school teacher. I worked in a private school and I live in New York City. And I can tell you that is a challenge in and of itself. It was back then, and anyone doing that right now, I salute my hat to all teachers. Just saying. Okay, right to it. My biggest screw up, my biggest mistake, and mind you, I did over 500 videos on frugality and financial information and tips and tricks, but yet I'm the one that made this mistake. But do understand, this is from the mindset of a New Yorker. New Yorkers have a tendency to think that truly that certain things could just not happen to us. We're not used to earthquakes, we're not used to wildfires, things of that nature. We're not used to being told we have to evacuate quickly. So we don't have that stockpile mentality as much as, let's say, some other people do in other parts of the world. In fact, I'm going to talk to you about my stockpile. I thought that I was pretty good with my little 2-week stockpile. In fact, probably ahead of the game than most people in this area, really and truly. But that has changed, and that is a huge mistake. Okay, when we were hit with Superstorm Sandy, I had my 2 weeks, I was good to go. But last year, well, actually this year, but last winter, winter, spring, you know what happened, and we were all like devastated. Let me tell you something. It occurred to me when looking in that poultry stockpile that, you better hope this thing passes quickly or whatever. Fortunately, I was able to replenish, but it taught me a valuable lesson. During quieter times, and I did mention this on prior videos, the only thing is I forgot to do it for myself. Honestly. So this was my mistake. Make sure that you have an adequate stockpile, okay? We just never know. And it doesn't have to be an illness. It doesn't have to be anything else. It could be sudden job loss. It could be a medical situation. Always make sure that you do have a stockpile in your pantry beyond 2 weeks. I would safely say that at least 1 month is good to go. If you could do better than that, then do better than that. If you live by yourself, scale it down. Scale it down and buy smaller things, but different things at a best price. Always try to get the best price. And the way you could do that is by taking care of these matters during quieter times, such as, let's say, maybe even right now. So let's avoid my mistake for you. I'm going to come back with a few more points of interest that anyone can make this mistake, anyone at all. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really do appreciate everyone's time. Just wondering, is it possible that some of your hard-earned money has been slipping away sneakily out of your wallet during quarantine? I'll give you a fast example. Let's say that you had a membership to, let's say, a gym, and the gym was closed for X number of months and you couldn't gain access. You should consider finding out if duly you are due a refund or an extension of time or whatever, because remember, you really didn't get the value for the time that the gym was closed. So this is something you may want to look into. Another point of interest, now while a lot of people save money, when you work from home, you definitely save money on car fare, transportation, childcare, etc., etc. You do save money, which is great. It's inherently happening when you work from home. But what did you do with that saved money? Sometimes boredom sneaks into the mix, and if anybody was bored, for example, during quarantine, that might lead to obsessive shopping to fill the void. Sometimes people shop because they're bored more than a need. If that might be you, here's a really good thing. And one of my subscribers, this is why I love you guys so much, one of my subscribers reminded me of a really great tip, and I'm going to mention it again because it's really worth mentioning. If you have a tendency to shop just to shop, even though you don't need it, because you might have difficulty separating a want from a need, go to that website. Put everything down that you want. Just put it down. But here's the trick. Walk away from that shopping cart. Do nothing. Take no action. Zero. Zero. Wait 24 hours, sleep on it, wait for 24 hours, look at it. You may get an entirely different perspective and say to yourself, what was I thinking? That's a great way to control impulse shopping during times when you are bored. And by the way, why don't you do something to fix up that boredom during the downtime? Get creative. Bake something, try something new, whatever. Start a channel. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Just saying. So anyway, I hope that these little tips and tricks were helpful to you. And it is, again, an indeed honor and absolute pleasure to collab with of anybody here. My personal mentor and guru from day one. I'll never forget binge watching on Dawn's channel. What a wonderful, wonderful lady, both outside and both in. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for viewing. I really do appreciate your time. And kindly consider subscribing to this channel for more tips and tricks. I have over 500 videos. Have a great day, everybody.